They'll swing their necks from side to side, and then they'll also use these bumps on their heads as protection for their brain too, because they can get quite violent. If you see David Attenborough's programmes and the giraffes fighting on that, it's very, very violent. So those extra bumps on the top of their head are just there for their protection for their brain. And yeah, their osteocones. They've got nice fluffy bits on the top of their osteocones as well, which always is a nice little thing to point out.
Oh, the little teeth.
I know, yeah, everyone's like, I can't believe they've got such small teeth, but they have no teeth in the middle here because these front and bottom teeth on their bottom jaw, they are like scoops, so they'll go along like the trees and rip off the branches that way, and then their tongue is incredibly long. Their tongue is about 46 centimetres, 46 to 50 centimetres long, so they'll wrap their tongue around the branches, pull it off, and then they'll bring it back to these back teeth here, their molars, where they just chew up and grind.
Is that why they don't need the top?
Yeah, they don't need the top set, because literally on the acacia branches in Africa that they eat, they're really spiky. They'll go all the way along the tree like a scoop, try and rip all the bark off, use their tongue then to pull it back, and then they grind all of it up that way. The tongue's a bluey purple colour as well,
yeah,
which is pretty awesome. These guys, unfortunately for them, can't pop down to Iceland and get sun cream, and they're always eating. They're quite greedy animals, giraffes. So what they'll do is have a blue tongue to protect it from the sunlight.
I realise it's for the sun.
Yeah, it's completely for the sun, so they don't get burned because they're always eating, so it's always poked out to a certain extent. So if they had a pink tongue, it would just get burned by the sun. So it's there for their inbuilt sun cream, I call it. Same for meerkats. Meerkats' eyes, the black rings around a meerkat's eyes, that's their sunglasses. So it just means they don't get blinded by the sun when they're always looking up and trying to protect themselves from danger. They don't get blinded by the sun that way. So yeah, it's pretty snazzy.
Like it's a tooth.
It's an elephant.
It is, yeah. You'd be surprised at how many people think, oh, is it vertebrae? Is it something else from an animal? Is it their brain we've had before? That is a tooth of an elephant. They've only got 4 teeth. So they have 2 up at the top and 2 at the bottom.
Explains why they're so big.
They keep growing, don't
Exactly. Yeah, they continue to grow. So they've got 6 sets, and that has to last them between 60 and 70 years. So their teeth will be constantly pushing through. It's like a big conveyor belt. So they're constantly pushing through, constantly grinding down. Once they wear away, so this is the bit that's hidden by the gum. Once it's all worn away, then it breaks up in their mouth into chunks and falls out that way. Very rare have I ever seen an elephant's tooth that's come out whole. It normally is broken up a bit in their jaw, and then it falls out that way. But yeah, they're completely rigid, all ridgy underneath. Again, same reason for giraffes, because they're herbivores. They've got to eat lots and lots of plants and different materials and grind it all up that way. So to get any benefit out of it, that's why they have all of their bumps in their teeth. It's really cool when you look at elephants though in pregnancy, because in a lot of collections that I've worked in previously, to see if an elephant is pregnant, they obviously have to look through the feces of an elephant. So the way that they make sure that they know which elephant's feces belongs to that elephant is they feed it sweet corn. Because sweet corn, same as humans, it doesn't get digested, it goes all the way through their system. And for elephants it's exactly the same. So then you can give one elephant a handful of sweet corn, and then you know that that poo belongs to them. If you want to test 2 at once, what I've heard that some places do is give one elephant sweet corn and the other glitter. And it looks like they've had a visit from Tinkerbell. It always makes me go.
Tinkerbell.
I know, yeah. I wouldn't like to pass through an elephant, I can tell you that. So you can see those massive canines. Their jaws are incredibly cool though. I absolutely love big cats. It's one of my favourite animals. If you see around by the eyes here, on any big cat's skull, you'll notice that around their eyes, it's never whole. Their sockets are never joined together. And that's because when they open their jaws, if you see these 2 bones at the back here, the bottom parts of their jaw, if they open up, if they didn't have those gaps, their eyes would pop out, because just the motion and the way that their jaw is formed on the bottom, it would actually poke those eyes out, and it would pop out. So that's the reason why they've got that gap there. This area as well of their skull is called their sagittal crest, and what happens with all of their muscles is they all form around these big bones here. They'll all join at the top here. And the reason why they're such effective hunters is not necessarily just because of their teeth, it's because of all the muscles that form on their sagittal crest. So it gives them a massive power and a massive bite. So that's the reason why they are such successful hunters. But yeah, feel free to have a little feel of those jaws. Those teeth are massive. Go on.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say that isn't there usually like a big correlation with cats? Like they'll have a very wide zygomatic arch, is it?
Yes, yeah, zygomatic arch, yeah.
And a relatively small brain case.
Yeah, so their brains are quite small.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're thick or anything, or dumb or anything like that. a lot of studies have shown recently lions are very, very intelligent. They've done a lot of studies out in Africa with like match choice selection tests where they've had different doorways and they've got to see if the lions can figure out which doorway has got the food behind it and how they open the doorways, if they can do it. And they've been finding out that lions are very, very smart. They can open doorways, they can manipulate different objects. So there's a lot more scientific studies going into lions and big cats in general at the moment, which is exciting. I love their noses. I think their noses, all the tubercles inside their nose, if the more that they have, it increases the surface area. So that's why they have such an effective sense of smell. I always think of it as if we were on the drive now. You saw the lions, did you, today? If we were stationed where we are right now, the lions would be able to smell us. It's that good, their sense of smell. And it's solely because of all of the tubercles, all those ridges inside their nose. Humans do have some. We don't have as many as them. Nowhere near as many as a lion. So yeah, this is Mr. Sticky. You're more than welcome to if you want to touch it. I can't unfortunately let you hold them, just because we've got a lot of policies.
Well, he tries to crawl on me.
He's like, I want to crawl on you, and I'm like, nobody. No. So yeah, he's a walking stick insect. They're really soft. You can feel that on their legs. At the end of their legs, they've got little hooks. So these guys are phenomenal at hanging on to literally anything and anyone.
Do these ever fly in their life, or are these just fastigial?
These are fastigial, so they don't actually. The males, some of the males do.
So nice.
Buddy, you can't go on there. Some of the males can, like the Madagascan blue stick insects. The males can fly, but the females can't. Yeah, these are often just for show and stick insects nowadays. So he's pretty awesome.
They look like they've got similar mouth parts to, what were they called? Locusts.
Yeah, very, very similar. They're also their teeth don't hurt at all. Like, I think children think, oh, they're going to really hurt you, they're going to bite and all of this. No, they don't. They've just got really small, like, mandibles. They don't really hurt as such. They just nibble on all the leaves and stuff, and the kids are just like, oh my god, look at their mouths, it's amazing. They've got more of a compact eye, so their eyesight is abysmal. These guys can't really see too well. Coming from the rainforest, and like they live under the canopy and in the understory of the rainforest, so these guys don't really need to have the best eyesight, hence why they've got nice antennae. So they can just feel their way around instead. They see more in light and shades rather than like colours, so it's much more beneficial for these guys. But it's really cool when you hold on to land snails. We have 2 in here, and we have a couple more down in our other classrooms as well. So he is our giant African land snail. When he was first born, that was the tip of his shell, was how big he was.
Oh.
So you can see as he's grown, all of the ridges in his shell he's developed. And he won't ever change his shell, he'll always stay in this one, bless him. He's got his one giant foot, and I love, he's got his 2, everyone thinks they're antennae, but his eye sockets. He's got his 2 eyes that poke out the top, but then he also has 2 little feelers down here to help him taste everything, which is pretty awesome. I'm like, oh, you've got like 2 mouth parts. That's like the best deal ever. You can eat as much as you want. But yeah, these guys are super, super awesome. So you're more than welcome to touch yourself. We just don't touch his squidgy bits. All the kids are like, he's awesome. Big Gary is super, super cool.
You definitely look after him because his shell's so much better than all the shells I've seen of like pet ones.
Yeah, you do find a lot of them, they start to break away or bits start to come off. These guys, we've been very, very lucky with them. They're very good. We've got the other one in there is quite young. One of it is a very, very young one.
A lot of people don't realise they need calcium because, especially to keep them together, they'll gnaw at each other's shells just so they have calcium.
Just so they get enough calcium in their diet. Yeah, so we've got the calcium stuff in there for them. They've got nice fruits and veggies in there as well. And we give them loads of different things. It's not the same food day in, day out. We're quite lucky with all the food that we get. A lot of it is, we get quite a lot of donations from supermarkets. So anything that's going off or that they can't sell anymore to members of the public, they actually donate to us. So a lot of the food that we do pass around to the animals is donated. We get other stuff in, but a lot of it is donated. So these guys get nice feasts whenever they want it, really.
Isn't their mucus like an antiseptic or something?
I'm not sure about these guys. I know horseshoe crabs, their blood is blue and it's used as an antiseptic, especially over in the Far East. They're farmed massively for their antiseptic properties from their blood. I used to work in an aquarium and they had loads of horseshoe crabs. And they're just so amazing. Kids are fascinated by horseshoe crabs.
Because they're really primitive.
So they're barely evolved at all. but they've had no need to. It's the same for turtles and tortoises. I've got 2 turtles at home, and they barely evolved from when they were first around because there's no need to. Their habitat hasn't changed. The food that they eat is still very, very similar. So what's the point for them to change? They've got no need to at all. So they might as well not. Wrapped inside your nice little blanket.
Aww.
We give Bob a nice little blanket because he's an old man now, bless him.
How old is he?
Do you know what? I'm not actually sure. It's just all the girls. I've only started working here since September, and I don't use Bob that regularly. We have other snakes that we use, and it's just been something that they've always said he's an old man. I've never actually asked his age, so I should actually really ask his age.
Bless. Hello, handsome.
Hey, buddy.
Beautiful pattern.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
And that's what's it called? What type of?
It's not the.
It's something
It's not the
camouflage.
venomous one. It's
No, no,
the,
that's
Oh,
the
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a
yeah,
coral
the
snake. It's a
mimicry
snake.
camouflage.
Yes,
Like
so
that.
his patterns are the right way round, so that you know that he's not going to be poison venomous or anything like that. He's not going to hurt you. Whereas I can't remember the species of the snake.
King
It's a
Cotton?
coral snake.
Coral snake,
Yeah,
yes, coral snake. That's the one.
And what type of snake is he again?
He's a
king.
milk snake.
Oh,
I'm
what's the
not-
other one?
Coral.
Coral.
No,
No,
besides
there's a king snake as well, isn't he a king? No, sorry, I got mixed
Nah,
up
he's
with
a
another.
milk snake.
Yeah, my bad.
He's a milk snake. So his patterns are the way around. There's some sort of rhyme, isn't there?
It's like red, black, and white is alright. And
Yeah.
then
It's a friend
red, white, and black.
will kill a fellow or something like
yeah.
that.
Red band to yellow, kill a fellow. Red band to black, venom like.
Yeah. So he is pretending basically just to be dangerous and venomous, so other animals don't eat him. Whereas the other guy, will definitely hurt you. You don't want to be bitten by
Yeah, because
with the corals.
most of the predators just see the contrast.
Yeah, they do. A lot of animals, people don't realise animals see completely differently to how humans see. A lot of animals will see in black and white, ultraviolet light. So it's the patterns more than anything that animals follow. So these guys definitely have got that down to a T. Definitely got it down to a T.
Oh, it's
Haven't
just
you, Pop?
lovely.
Don't know how I spawned such an interest of all animals, but my mum is terrified of snakes. I think snakes
I
are
used to
awesome.
be.
Yeah.
I used to be utterly terrified.
My mum will see a snake
And
and,
now I
she'll
love
run. Like,
Yeah, she will not
she-
be in the same
she saw
building as a
one
snake.
about 50 feet away and she ran all the way home.
It's funny because it's a lot of the time people just don't understand them.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it's
the
like-
same with sharks.
Yeah.
People just
Don't
think
get
they're
me-
mean. Yeah,
Don't get
yeah.
me started with
Yeah.
sharks.
It's
People
an,
think they're just these horrible, scary, big animals that will
and they think
hunt.
they're slimy as well.
Yeah.
This is it, and I say
All my
this
brothers and
all to the
sisters
kids
saw
every
Jaws.
time I say,
Completely scared.
whenever a
I saw it, I fell
child
in
sees a
love.
snake, I go, now hands up if you think they're slimy. And all the kids stick their hands in the air, and I'm like, shall I let you into a secret? They're not slimy, they're shiny.
Yeah.
I say it's shiny, not slimy, because it helps to keep them nice and cool, so the heat, the rays just reflect off them. Have you got round my headband? And there's just such lovely animals. Really, really are snakes. They eat things that are 10 times smaller than us, these guys especially. Not like anacondas or anything. But these guys eat mice. They're not going to eat us. They're not going to even remotely try and hurt us. As long as you are kind to an animal, you're friendly, you handle them correctly, and you don't do any rash movements, these guys are absolutely fine. They don't mind it at all. And it's nice though. They are becoming more popular as pets, these guys nowadays. It's just trying to teach people how to look after them, because they need such a big setup to look after them correctly. They need big space, they need temperature monitoring, they need heat lamps, they need water baths, they need all sorts of care and attention. And then it's trying to find a vet that will actually specialise in reptiles, because a lot of vets
Just
don't.
cats and dogs. isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
regular, normal, domesticated
'Cause
animals.
most people go for these just because it's how easy it is to feed them. It's not that often, whereas with like most mammals, it's every day.
Yeah.
every day.
Well, these guys, snakes are so fussy and well, most snakes are just
I
fussy
think-
eaters in general.
Yeah,
Oh, God,
pythons
yes.
are really fussy.
Yeah, we've got three pythons actually, and they will have the option of having one snake a week. Every Friday we give them a snake, whereas when we go back in on a Monday and see if it's eaten all of its food, sometimes they don't eat it, sometimes they do. Sometimes they'll go months without eating, and we're like, guys, what's going on? The vet checks them over, there's nothing wrong with them at all, they just don't want to eat. They're just not hungry. And then some weeks, every day, every Friday, every Monday, they're gone, and you're like, you guys must be hungry all of a sudden. So yeah, they
Seriously.
get the option of having a rat or a mouse once a week. And it's on a Friday, so we call it their party weekend. They get a mouse every Friday. He's super, super cool. They tickle. I love their tongues. It's just so ticklish. Really, really is. But yeah, Pob is our only milkshake. We did used to have two, Pib and Pob. But now Pib is no longer with us, unfortunately. And Pob, you're still standing, aren't you, buddy? You're still with us. But then we've got our three other snakes are called Anna, Elsa, and Olaf.
Oh, yes.
Bet that's popular with the kids.
It is, and that's the reason why giving them names from like popular culture, so TV, film, often allows kids then to just see them and feel like they almost know the animal and like, oh well, if they're friends of Elsa's, they can't hurt me. And it's like, well, and it works. It really, really does.
Yeah, because it's like when you call like a black-tit reef Bruce or something from Nemo.
Exactly, yeah.
Everyone calls it clownfish
when I worked
Nemo.
in the in the aquarium, it was like every clownfish. Look, it's Nemo. It makes me sad though when you see in aquariums the regal tangs, the dory fish.
Oh, they hate clownfish, don't they?
They do, but none of them. There's not been able to have, except a very small group in Florida managed to do it, to breed them in captivity. So every regal tang that you see in an aquarium has been taken from the wild. And the only reason they're taken from the wild is because of the popularity of Finding Nemo, Finding Dory. So whenever you see them for sale in pet shops for marine tanks, those have all been taken from the wild. There is a group in Florida that managed to breed them. I think they lived for 40 or 50 days and that was it. They're really hard to breed in captivity, regal tangs. But clownfish, however, God, you can't get rid of them now. You're just like, geez, guys.
It's just like a great white as well. San Diego Aquarium managed to keep a great white for about 6 months.
Yeah,
wow.
they're so hard. So hard to look after.
The main reason they got rid of it is because it kept bumping into like the oval-shaped tank, and because it started eating the other sharks in the tank.
Yeah. Not wise if you want to keep your collection alive. You don't want to have an animal that's going to eat the bone.
Aww.
Some dirt too.
Go
I
on.
see some poo. But it's for you, not me. That's not for me.
That
it's
didn't
you.
rhyme.
God fucking damn it. I see no cats in here.
Keep going.
And I said to myself, fuck this.
Aww.
I'm out of here.
That didn't rhyme.